The debate had barely started when the tension in the room turned electric. Stephen Miller leaned forward, his voice sharp and insistent, cutting across Jasmine Crockett before she had even finished her opening line. The audience gasped, but Crockett did not flinch. She lifted her eyes, steady and unshaken, letting his interruption roll past her. He went again, louder this time, trying to bury her words under his. She stopped, let him finish, and then with calm precision said, "Are you done, Stephen? Because America deserves more than noise." The crowd reacted instantly, cheers clashing with jeers. That was the first clash, but it would not be the last. He came at her a second time, throwing in statistics mixed with accusations, insisting she was ignoring the truth. She responded with restraint, correcting him once, then letting silence underline his desperation. By the third interruption, even the moderators looked uneasy, but Crockett's eyes told the audience she was waiting, calculating, preparing. It was not weakness, it was patience, and everyone could sense it building towards something far bigger. The stage was framed as a clash of two worlds. On one side stood Stephen Miller, longtime conservative strategist, infamous for his combative style and relentless push to dominate every exchange. He carried himself with the confidence of someone who had interrupted countless opponents and expected them to buckle under pressure. On the other side stood Jasmine Crockett, a rising Democratic firebrand, known for her unyielding tongue and her refusal to bow to theatrics. The cameras loved the contrast. From the very beginning, Miller's tactic was clear. He would not let her settle into rhythm, cutting her off again and again, hoping to unsettle her voice. He accused her of lying, of ignoring facts, of spinning narratives for the media. Each interruption carried the same sneer, a dismissal, a suggestion that her words did not matter. But Crockett knew the stakes. She was not just speaking for herself, she was speaking for millions who had grown tired of being shouted down, tired of watching arrogance parade as authority. Every time Miller lunged with another interruption, she measured her response carefully. Sometimes she fired back with a clipped correction. Sometimes she let silence make him look smaller. Viewers at home began to notice the balance, his fury versus her control. Commentators whispered from the sidelines, would she snap? Would she lose her cool? Or would she wait for the perfect opening to strike? By the fifth interruption, the answer was still hidden, but the audience could feel that she was holding back something explosive. The nation watched as patience sharpened into a weapon waiting to be unleashed. By the third time Miller cut her off, the pattern was unmistakable. He wasn't just debating, he was trying to drown her out. His words came rapid fire. Statistics about immigration, accusations of corruption, charges that she was out of touch with real America. Each phrase was clipped, harsh, designed to slice through her sentences before they could land. Crockett answered with precision, but always shorter than before. False. Check your numbers. That's not what the report says. She didn't waste breath. She let her sharp corrections hang in the air while Miller kept talking. The audience began to notice the imbalance, one voice thrashing louder, the other cutting cleaner. By the fourth interruption, her supporters shifted uneasily. They wanted her to hit back harder. On social media, live comments scrolled in. "Let her speak! This is ridiculous! She's waiting for something!" The tension was becoming unbearable. Then came the fifth. Miller slammed in with an accusation so heavy it nearly stopped the debate. He claimed Crockett's record was built on lies, that she thrived on sound bites, that she couldn't stand on facts if her career depended on it. Gasps filled the hall. Crockett leaned forward as if to answer, but then she stopped. She didn't take the bait. She looked at him, expression steady, and simply said, "I'll let you finish digging your own hole." The crowd roared. Miller froze for a beat, caught off guard, but recovered with a mocking laugh, trying to reassert control. Yet something had shifted. The fifth strike had landed, but Crockett was no longer playing defense. She was coiling, preparing, and every viewer could feel it. The sixth interruption would not end the way he imagined. The sixth interruption came like a hammer. Miller leaned in, raising his voice over both the moderator and Crockett, jabbing his finger in the air as he declared, "You don't speak for America. You're just another loud politician who got lucky with a seat, and without your Twitter rants, Nobody would even know your name. The crowd erupted in shouts and groans. For a split second, it seemed like Miller had seized the night. But Crockett didn't blink. She waited, letting the noise wash over until the hall began to quiet. And then, with calm fire in her voice, she delivered the line that would end the exchange. "If you had to interrupt me 6 times just to stop the truth, then maybe it's not me America's tired of hearing. Maybe it's you." The silence was instant. The camera zoomed in on Miller, his mouth still open as if he had one more jab ready, but nothing came out. The audience erupted, half in cheers, half in stunned disbelief. Commentators scrambled, whispering, "Did she just—" The moderator raised a hand but knew the moment had already taken its own life. Crockett didn't add more. She didn't need to. The weight of her words hung in the air, echoing louder than any speech. For the first time that night, Miller's dominance collapsed. His interruptions had backfired, setting up the very line that silenced him completely. Clips of the exchange hit social media before the debate even ended. Hashtags exploded, trending within minutes. 6 times, silenced, Crockett vs. Miller. Memes spread like wildfire, each one replaying the single sentence that turned the night upside down. In that instant, Crockett had shifted from patient defender to commanding victor. The debate was no longer about policy. It was about power, presence, and the moment one voice proved stronger than 6 interruptions. The aftermath was as explosive as the clash itself. Within minutes, every major network replayed the clip of Miller being shut down, each segment highlighting Crockett's 6th response as if it were a knockout punch in a championship fight. Commentators on the right scrambled to defend Miller, claiming the interruptions were justified, while left-leaning analysts praised Crockett for showing discipline and delivering the single most memorable line of the debate. On social media, the reaction was overwhelming. Supporters flooded timelines with clips of her words, writing, "This is how you handle a bully," and 6 times too many. Even those who had never followed her career before were suddenly captivated. Overnight, Crockett's profile skyrocketed, her name trending alongside presidents and party leaders. Miller, once so confident in his ability to dominate, found himself mocked in memes that looped his silence, each replay more brutal than the last. But beyond the noise of applause and ridicule, something deeper resonated. Crockett's words cut to the heart of politics itself, the exhaustion with constant shouting, the weariness of voices that talk over instead of listen. Her final message was not only a rebuke of Miller, but a mirror held up to the nation. For every viewer who had ever felt silenced, her line became their line. The debate ended, but the echoes did not fade. Panelists debated whether it marked a turning point for her political career. Some suggested that with one sentence, she had secured her place as a leading voice of her generation. Others warned that moments pass quickly, and the real test would be whether she could build on it. Yet none could deny that for one unforgettable night, Jasmine Crockett had turned 6 interruptions into a single thunderclap heard across America. As the lights dimmed and the stage cleared, the story was already bigger than the event itself. The confrontation was replayed in classrooms, living rooms, newsrooms. It was dissected, celebrated, criticized, but never ignored. And at the center of it all remained one undeniable truth. Stephen Miller tried 5 times to rattle her, but her 6th response silenced him and reminded the nation that patience, timing, and precision can be more powerful than 1,000 interruptions.